Hello. Forgot my mic was right over there. I was like, wait a second. I'm missing something. Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining me again on another live stream after being off for 1 week. We are back with the pet clinic and I'm thinking about adding a bunch of new tests that I thought about, and also one extra feature that I saw this past week and I want to try out today. So let me show you what we are going to do. Let me check the chat, see who's in now. Ivan, hello, my man. How you doing? I hope you're having a great day today. Thank you for joining me. Long time no see. I know. I took a bit of a rest last week, but we're back. And also, spoiler alert, I'm thinking about starting. I'm not thinking, I am going to start a new stream on Wednesdays. This is going to be Wednesdays 9:30 p.m. Standard time, or Mountain Standard Time. So yeah, I'm going to start a new stream where I'm going to create a new application for a learning management system. I ran a poll for a couple of weeks, and that was the overall winner between YouTube and Twitter. So yeah, I'm going to start a new project on Wednesdays, so be sure to subscribe and join me on that. Let me see who's in. Amit, my man, always here. I love it. Thank you for joining me again. And what's the new features? I'll show you in just a second. It's basically just one feature, and I'll show you in a minute. Enjoy your video last week. Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to stream, so I thought I work hard to get that video ready on Sunday so that you guys have had something to see. It was a tricky one because I had to learn a bunch of new tricks editing wise, just to get the zooming and getting in and out of screen. So it was a tricky one, but I think it came out okay. New stream on Wednesdays. Stay tuned for that. This Wednesday, we started this Wednesday for that learning management system. That is something I'm hoping it's something that I can actually end up using in the future for my website that I'm currently building. It's not going to be anything soon, but at least it's something that I hope I can end up using, and maybe something that you can use too. Hello from the video title. I guess you will show how to upload PDFs files. I'm interested in how to display a PDF after a user has uploaded it. I mean, from the table, click to show PDF uploaded. Not exactly. I'm going to test how to upload files, but currently the pet clinic doesn't have a feature for uploading PDF, but the process should be pretty much the same for an image or a PDF file. You just upload the file, put it somewhere, and then you link to it. But not exactly PDFs. I'm just going to broadly cover how to upload files. In this case, it's just going to be images. Can I join the website builder? Website builder. What's the website builder? I don't know what that is. Can I join the website builder? Sure, you can join, but I don't know what the website builder is. If you can elaborate a little bit more. But anyway, enough about me, enough about my face. Let's get into the code, shall we? So this is what I want to do today. So I have a bunch of other tests. The one you're building. Oh, I'm not building that in public right now. I'm not actually streaming that, or maybe I should. When I have something tangible. Right now it's just a placeholder. But it's not something that I'm currently broadcasting or streaming. It's just something that I have in my mind, you know. I want a website as part of the whole branding thing, but it's just currently an idea. There's nothing built right now. Maybe I should start live streaming that too. Maybe in the future. But sure, you can join. You're more than welcome. So I want to test, as I said before, I want to test that I can upload an image for the pet, which was the only thing that we didn't test last week. And I also want to test that I can update that uploaded image. I want to create the appointment page for the owner. It's going to be very similar to the doctor one, but I want to create a test for those. I thought maybe to create something more elaborate, but at the end I decided let's go simple enough. The owner can select clinic and then the doctor and then a time slot for the appointment and then create an appointment. And I will create a test for that, or at least a bunch of tests for that. And the one feature that I want to show is that I saw this trick on the Filament website. It's for version 2, but I thought that it seemed simple enough that we can maybe replicate for version 3. And it has to do with showing images in drop-down lists. And I thought we can use this for the pet, for example, for the pet and for the doctors. When we're selecting a pet or we're selecting a doctor, since they already have avatars and images, why not show them next to the name? So yeah, I want to create this for both the pets and the doctors. For example, when we are creating an appointment, I think that's the one that has both of them. When we're creating an appointment and we're selecting both the pet and the doctor, it would be nice to have an image next to the name. So this, I'm going to try to replicate this, but for version 3, it shouldn't be that much different. And so I think we can start with this. This will be more visually interesting, and then we can move on to the rest of the tests. How about that? Let me move to the code. What is this? All right, so let's start with the doctor's appointment resource. I think I have it here already opened. So in the doctor's resource, in the appointments resource for the doctor, when we are, and we could show it here too, when we create a new appointment and we want to select the pet, let's show the pet image next to the name right here. Let's go ahead and open that in VS Code. So appointment resource. Let's go to the doctor panel. So doctor resources, appointment resource. And let's look for the form right here. And we have the select input for the pet. Okay. Let's see, what do we have to do first? First thing, we need to allow HTML. And I think the method name for that is the same. Yes, allow HTML. So that's step 1. We have to make it searchable, which we already have right here. So that's fine. And then we have to use two methods, get search results using and get option label using. The first one is going to show the search results when we start typing something and we see the options of the result of that search. So we need that separately. And then the get option label using is for just the options that are shown by default. So let's start with get search results using first. I'm going to copy this and then modify it to our needs. Let's do it after column span full right here. So get search result using, this takes a callback function, and that callback function receives the search value, the thing that we want to search. And in this case, we are looking for pets. So we are going to say pet where name. We're looking for the name that can stay the same. Like search, we can limit the results to 50 and then get. This will get me a collection here. And then what we return is pets map with keys. Map with keys. This is a collection method. What does this collection method do? I tend to forget. So let's read about it real quick. Laravel documentation. Let's look for map with keys. I already did the search, so it's in my history right here. Map with keys. The map with keys method iterates through the collection and passes each value to the given callback. The callback should return an associative array containing a single key value pair. Simple enough. So, and the callback also, as well as passing the current item in the iteration, it also passes in the key. I guess that's where the with keys comes from. I know, actually, the with keys comes from the return value, because we need to return a key and a value as an array like this. So that's where the map with keys come from. So in this case, we are going to map with keys using a single pet as the iteration, and then return pet get key, which is the pet ID. And they're using a clean option string method here. And I think what they're doing is sanitizing the output. But in our case, this is what they are doing. Let me show you. The get clean option string method is using a third-party package called Purify. Problem with Purify is that it's good when you want to eliminate JavaScript or harmful code in your HTML, which is not our case. The problem with that is if we try to run Purify clean in a view that has a lot of classes like this, all of these classes will disappear and we'll end up with an HTML that has no styling. I'm guessing there is some sort of configuration to prevent that from happening, but I figured that we could just not use Purify in this case and just go with straight view. And just use the view like this. So I'm not going to use Purify. You can read about it in the package if you want to make extra sure. And maybe, like I said, maybe there is some sort of configuration where you can allow CSS classes to not be to be in the end result. But that'll take too much time, and I want to get to do this real quick. So I'm not going to use purify. So in that case, the clean option string is not really applicable here. So I'm just going to call it get option string. That's what, sorry. That is going to be a static method in this resource class. And we are going to pass the pet. And on that, once we get that collection mapped, we are going to turn it into an array and then return that. So I guess the next thing we need to do is implement this get option string static method, which I'm going to do up here. So public static get option string. That's how I call it, right? Yep, get option string. And as a parameter, we are going to take in a model class, and let's call it record. This is going to return a string. Why is my that is weird. Okay, that's better. Unexpected name? What are you talking about? My IntelliFence is acting weird. Let's just do this to prevent any errors. Yeah, my IntelliFence is just all over the place. Oh, you have to say function. That's why. You're the weird one, not IntelliFence. Okay, that's better. So public static function get option string. We are going to take in a model. Did we import this? Illuminate database eloquent model. That's imported if it wasn't before, and then we receive the record and return a string. Now here, I'm going to go back to the example, and well, this is simple enough. This is only returning a view, and we have to pass some data to that view. Although I don't like the way that they're doing it with every single data item in the with a with method. I'd rather just do return view, and then the name of the view can be filament components how are there select user results. Let's just call it select pet results, like that, and then render on that. And to that view, let's just pass in the entire record. Let's use compact record. So yeah, it's a little shorter. We're not using purify. I'm trusting the contents of my view, and I'm just passing the entire model into that view, like so. Okay, so next thing is we need a view. So let's create that view real quick. Let's open a terminal here, and let's say PHP artisan make view, and I think I call it filament components select pet results, right? Select pet results, yes. All right, we have the view. Let's edit that view to add the image and the pet name. Select pet results.play.php. Order your soul, reduce your wants. Augustine. That's deep. Let's see how the view looks. Let's copy this entire thing and then modify it to our needs. So they're doing a class flex rounded MD relative. Okay. And then another flex in here, which has two items, two divs. The first div is for the image, which we need. And instead of image, we do have it in storage. If you are not familiar with this, we're just having a URL here, and the storage folder refers to the public folder. And in our public folder, when we created the functionality to add avatars to pets, we created a link, a symlink in public storage. And that is a link to another folder. And as you can see, we have a bunch of images here. That is a symlink to resources, sorry, to storage, app, public. So this folder right here is the same as the one in public storage. So this is just a link to this folder right here. So this will work. We have it in public storage. But instead of image, we want to use pet avatar, if I'm not mistaken. Why are they? This is kind of interesting. They're just appending an empty string at the end. I'm not a fan of that, so I'm going to remove that. The alt is it's the name. In this case, it's going to be pet name, role image, and that's going to be height full, width full, rounded full. That'll make it a circle. Overflow hidden, so that there are no this thing. I forget how it's called, sorry. So overflow hidden shadow is going to give it a small shadow, and then make object cover so that the image is going to be fully contained, I guess. And then we have another div where we have the name and email. In this case, we don't need the email. Our pets don't have emails. So let's just use pet name. I'm guessing I'm going to have an issue with the padding, because I think padding 2 on the y-axis, so top and bottom, is going to be a little too much for my liking, maybe. Same with the image. This is going to be padding 3, so it's going to be like too wide for me. But we'll see how it looks and then modify it from there. Okay, so back to the resource. Basically, we have in the search results, we return a mapping with keys with the pet ID and the get option string, which returns a view that we just created, and it should look like in the example, like what we see in the example. So let's try it out, see how it goes. Oh, yeah, right now it's not gonna work. If I type W and we get the results, but it still looks the same, and that is because one thing. If we want to allow this to show as it should, we cannot have relationships, because when we use relationship, that is going to take over how the options look. and it's not going to allow us to customize that. So it's always going to look the same. But if we remove the relationship, and actually let's add a label because that's going to just show pet ID. When we remove the relationship method, then we are allowed to modify how the search results look. We are allowed to use HTML and do all of the things that we want to do. The only drawback is that we lose the only options that we have, but we're going to solve that in a minute. Right now, if I type W, we have an error. Undefined variable pet. Did I call it record? I called it record, didn't I? All right. Try that again. Okay, that worked. And yeah, as I said, this looks way too wide for me, like too much space up, too much space down. I don't know if it comes across in dark mode. I think it does. So let's see how we can fix that. I think the first thing I don't want to have is a padding Y3 on the image. Maybe just a margin top of 1. And I do want the padding X too, but maybe not the padding X, not on both sides, maybe just what is it, the right, so that it's going to have some separation between the image and the name, but it's going to be flat against the left side. See if that works. Still too close. Maybe the padding right is not being registered. So let's keep it as padding X. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy with the distance between up and down. And then if we select that, yeah, that looks good. Perfect. Now let's solve the issue that we have where we don't have any options that are shown. When we remove the relationship method, we lose the, we also lose the preload functionality, which shows a bunch of options that are, or a few options that are in the relationship. So if we lose this, that means that we need to create the options array by ourselves. So let's do that. I'm going to do it down here. Let's say options. This will take a callback. Can I use a shorthand? Think so. So let's do, no, maybe not, because I need to send it, I need to return the label as image and name. So let's do a full callback function. And here, do I need to pass in anything? I don't think I do. This will return an array. So let's turn, we do this, we should eliminate the squiggly lines. Yeah, we do. But instead of that, let's just return pet, or actually, let's not return just yet. Let's just grab pets like this, and let's do pet all. We grab all the pets, and then we return the same thing as we did here. We just map it with keys. We return key value pairs, and the value for the label is going to be an image. And why is my indentation so weird? One, two, three, four, five. No, not five. What's going on here? Is it the same here? See how this indentation is okay. Let's do it again. I'm having problems with indentation. Take it about one, move it up, and okay, that looks better. So we do the same thing here as we did with the search results instead, but in this case, we're not returning any search results. We're just returning all of the pets, and we can limit this to maybe 10, 15, 20 results if you have way too many results to show, if you don't want the dropdown to be too big. But in this case, we only have like one, so I'm okay with just pet all. So let's see how that looks now. All right, so we have the option to search, but we also show all of the pets that we have in our pet table, our pets table. So it looks like this. And now instead of searching, I can just select it from here. And now we have a drop down with tiny little images of our pets. And yeah, that was easy, wasn't it? I like it. I do want to have it on the table as well. Right here. Let's do that. We already have that in the actual pets resource in the admin panel. So let's bring it back to here. Pet resource. This is the form. I want the table right here. So we have one extra column for the avatar. Go down to the table. We have the pet name. Let's also have the pet avatar in here. Ooh, I don't like that. Redwane, how you doing? Thank you for joining me today. Can I just have a label with an empty string like this? Yes, I can. Cool. Ideally, we would like to have the pet image and the name in the same column. Yeah, should have that. But let's not worry about that too much right now. Not really mission critical. Basically, what you would do is just use, how is it called? Format state using, I think. Yeah, format state using, passing the record, and then display the avatar and the name. Or you could use a stack. Maybe I can use a stack. But if I use a stack, let's see. Tables. If I can't do this in 5 minutes, I won't worry about it. So tables, components, columns, sorry. Is it components? Tables, columns, layout. Tables, columns, layout, stack, make, pet. In Filament file upload, can we deal with PDF instead of images? We can. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna get to it in this project, but the gist of all is this. It doesn't really make a difference, at least on the uploading part, if you're dealing with an image or a PDF. It's just a file. When you define your validation, you can restrict the upload to be just a PDF. But at the end of the day, image, file, it's the same thing. You're uploading a file, image, PDF is just a file that you're uploading to your server and putting it somewhere. And then displaying wise, if I wanted to display a PDF, I would just link to it, maybe in a new tab or something, because the browser takes care of displaying the PDF as it should. You shouldn't worry about that too much, because when you link to a PDF file, the browser is going to identify that and just show the PDF with all the controls and etc. so that you can download it, edit it, whatever. But at the end of the day, dealing with PDF uploading is no different than uploading an image file. Maybe I'm being too simplistic, but in my head, that's how it works. You just upload a file and then you decide how you want to display it on your server, whether it's just a link to it or showing an image, in this case, in a table, etc. But displaying it wise and uploading the file, it's the same thing as uploading an image, I think. And like I said, yes, there is a benefit to having a PDF if you want to have information or something different in the project, but this project in particular does not have any PDF requirements for the upload, just the images. So again, I don't think I'm going to get to it in this session. Still, if you still have problems and you have specific questions that you want to ask about uploading a PDF and you're having issues with that, my Discord server is always open. If you haven't joined that, the link is pinned in the chat. So go ahead and join in, go to the Filament technical channel. And if you have specific questions about uploading and dealing with PDF files, don't hesitate to leave them there and I'll get to them and do my best to give you the best answer. Cool? Perfect. So a stack-based schema, and in the schema we can have the image and the name. Oh, this takes nothing. On the make, what's going on here? Make. Oh, this is not, it doesn't take a schema. The make takes in the schema right away. Like so. And we don't need the format state using in this case. Let's see how that looks. We don't need a label here. Yeah, I knew that would happen. When you use a stack, it just takes all of the columns and puts them in one stack. So yeah, that didn't work. Go back, go back, go back. Okay, let's just leave it like that for now, and we'll deal with it at some point if it bothers me too much. Hey Virgil, how you doing? How's your weekend? Glad you can join us. For everyone that has joined since we started, again, I'm going to start a new stream on Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. That is 9:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So yeah, stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that now so that you don't miss the notifications. And while you're down there, why don't you leave me a like? It's free and it really helps. Time to make, what is it? Custom livewire view. For the image and the name, I don't think we need a view. Well, you could always create your own column. That's another thing you can do. If right now it doesn't bother me too much, I just wanted to have the image there, and actually we can just give it a title or of avatar. Or image. Something like that. Like I said, it doesn't really bother me too much to have it like that. But if you wanted to, you can create you can create a custom column class that you can then use as a column here. And at the end of the day, a custom column class is nothing but a livewire component with a custom view. So yeah, that's another route you can take. Why don't we do the same? Well, I'll leave it as a homework to you if you want to practice. Do the same that we did for the pet dropdown, but do it in the doctor's dropdown in the admin panel. How about that? So just to give you a hint, let's go to the admin. Let's log out first. Sign out. Let's move to the admin panel. I said admin panel. I guess I called it avatar in everywhere. Pets, avatar. Yeah, I called it avatar everywhere, so I'm gonna make that distinction. But why don't you, as a homework, do the same thing that we did on the pet dropdown, but also do it for the doctor. So for example, if we select a clinic here and then a date, I don't remember, maybe it's Monday. Yeah, so you have doctors here. Try and add that same technique that we just did for the pet and add it as the doctor. And maybe next week we can compare notes and see if you were close to the solution or you got it right. I'm sure you will. But yeah, next week I'll have it ready and then we can compare notes. So that way you actually get your hands dirty a little bit. But in this case, I'm just gonna mark it as done and then move on to the other tests that we wanted to take care today. So we have been going for 46 minutes, so we're doing great in time. I want to test that I want to create a test for uploading images. So let's close this, and this is for the owner resource. So let's open that test suite. And that is pet resource test. So let's say let's copy this, can upload a pet image. What does smoke test mean? A smoke test is basically just a test that you do to make sure that when you turn something on, it doesn't go up in flames by the simple act of just turning something on. So if you had a machine or something that you built and you want to make sure that at least it turns on, you flip a switch, and then if there is no smoke, then you're good. And in terms of testing a resource, for example, a smoke test is just basically making sure that you can render the page that you want to show. In this case, I want to have an appointments page, and so all I want to do is make sure that if I do a get request to that page, I get a 200 status response. That's it. That's just flipping a switch, no smoke, we're good. That's basically what a smoke test mean. And to give you an example, this is a smoke test. I have a bug flying around. So we just make a get request to the pet resource URL. In this case, it's the index, but in our case, maybe it's the appointment resource, the index page. At least you want to see, at least you want to make sure that you can see the page. That's it. All right. Sorry, I moved something. Looking good, I think. Yep. There you go. So how do we test uploading an image or any file for that matter? What I'm going to do is go to, because this is not specific to Filament, is more of a Livewire specific test. So I'm going to go to livewire.laravel.com, and in the documentation we have a section for file uploads. And in that section we have a test or testing section. So let's follow this example and try to do it for our pets or for our pet avatars. So first thing we need is to fake the storage fake avatars. So storage fake is going to mock the storage functions, so that when you upload a file, when you save a file, when you copy a file, whatever you want to do with a file, it won't actually do it, but it will mock the operation, and then you can assert on that operation later. I'm guessing that this is the folder name. So I don't know if we need it. Let's actually go and check the documentation for Laravel on that. Storage fake. The storage facade fake method allows you to easily generate a fake disk that combined with the file generation utilities greatly simplifies the testing of upload files or file uploads. By default, the fake method will delete all files in its temporary directory. If you would like to keep the files, you may use the persistent fake method instead. I wouldn't. So what? This is a disk. It's a disk name. What if I don't pass anything to it? We'll see. So first things first, let's actually create a disk or a fake disk for our test. We need to import the storage facade. So yeah, that's a disk name. It can be null. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't think it's going to make any difference. Hi, Hamad. How you doing? I'm glad you can join us today. How's your weekend? What have you been up to? So next, we need to actually upload a file. Talking about test, I wanted to ask something. Go ahead. Example, I have a record in one database. When I run the test, the record 1 is gone. I did change the php.xml to use SQL and memory. Also, I use refresh database. So you mean that the record is gone after the test or during the test? Does that mean that you don't have access to the record that you just created within the test? Is that the question? Oh, this is not for uploading a file. This is just creating a fake file for me to upload. So let's try that. So we create a fake avatar. Yeah, after the test, the record is gone. Okay, so that's basically because one, you're using an in-memory. Is it expected behavior during the test? Yeah, because when you use an in-memory SQLite, when you are using sorry, my words aren't catching up with my brain. When you use an SQLite in-memory database, that means that the database leaves only during the test. As soon as the test is over, the database is gone. Poof, kaput. Because the database lives in memory. So every time you run a test, since you're using the refresh option as well, every time you run a test, the migrations will be run. The database is created, migrations are run, so the tables are filled with any seeds or anything that you want. The test body is executed, so you create records, you assert on those records, etc. And then after the test is finished, the database disappears. That's what in-memory database means. So it is expected behavior. that after the test is complete, you won't have any database to deal with. Okay, I hope that answers your question, by the way. So we have a fake file. Now we have to test the class that is uploading the file. So in this case, we're going to do livewire test. Guess we should use the same body as creating a pet. Validates, no. Can update a pet, no. Can retrieve data, validate errors, can create a pet. So we should also have a pet to create. So we create a new pet, or we have a pet ready for the current owner. We create a fake disk, create a fake file, and then we're gonna test. Loller Blade, hi, how you doing? Could you make a video about how you record videos like this? I mean how you set this blue purple background, how you make your face camera shape rounded. Well, a video about it would go. The answer is yes, I can help you with that. And the reason I don't think a video would fit is because the channel theme is not how to create videos, is just about Laravel and Laravel tests. So if I create a video like that, people are going to be, well, is this channel about making videos or learning Laravel? So I think it would go outside the channel subject, but I can definitely help you with the tips and tricks on how to create this. Maybe what we can do is create a channel specifically for video production on my Discord server. And there I can create maybe a small training video that it won't be on YouTube, but it will be on Discord. Maybe we can do that. I'll do that. If I don't make a video about it, I'll just make it text-based. Because to be honest, it's not really that complicated. It's everything I have learned how to do for my editing, live stream, etc. I learned it on YouTube, honestly. Everything is there. The information is there. And if you look for it, you'll find it. But yeah, I can make a shortcut for the things that I've learned and how to do them in my Discord server. So yeah, I'll create a channel for video production on my Discord server. So be sure to click the link that is pinned in the chat so that you can join the Discord server as well. Maybe I can just copy this. Isn't that all bundled? Bundles in OBS software? Yes. Well, technically, there are things that you need to do outside of OBS, but OBS takes most of the heavy lifting. But yeah, it's mostly OBS and a couple of tricks to get rounded edges on the camera and recording sources, etc., and having scenes. stacked together, but it's mostly OBS. Let's grab the Livewire test from the create pet as well. I'm going to grab all of this. So we are testing the pet resource, pages create pet. We're filling the form with name, date of birth, and type, but we also want a file. And that is avatar. We have to set the file name. How is this doing it? No, just the file. So avatar is a file input. So we set the file to avatar. Is it avatar? Let me check. This is in pet resource owners panel. Well, we don't have it yet, so the test will fail. But that's good. So we do have it in pet resource, but for the doctors, yeah, it's a file upload. It's called avatar. Okay. So we set that, and then we call, in this case, we are gonna call create. Assert that the form has no errors, and then we can assert on storage avatars that the file exists. What is this doing here? Is it changing it? Is it changing the file name? I think it's changing the file name so that we can assert on the file name later. I don't know if I want to do that. Let's see. Maybe I can just use the file. Something like that. I'm fully expecting that this is not going to work. But that's the idea. It's going to just test this. First error. Let's make this bigger. Class uploaded file not found. Okay. I'm guessing it's from Illuminate HTTP. Let me just make sure. Illuminate HTTP. Yes. Okay. Try again. Unable to find a file or directory at path tmp php So he's failing on the assertion. Huh. Interesting. Your last videos about use library components in Filament is incredible. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Makes a lot of possibility to personalize the app. I hope you do more videos of that. Well, I am going to do now. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, and I'm glad those help you. What's going on here? Oh, I know. Maybe. How about this? What happens if I find the pet that I just created? Because I'm thinking that once the pet record has been created, that's Filament doing its thing. Then the pet model will have the file name that I'm looking for. But I want to make sure. It doesn't. It's no. So I'm guessing setting the avatar here like that. Well, yeah, of course it's null because we don't have an input for it. So let's create an input for it. Forms. Am I in the right class? Filament owner result. Yeah, I am here. Components. File, upload, make. This will be for avatar. And it's not required. What did I use for the other pet resource? Image editor. Let's copy those two. Hi Will, how you doing, my friend? How's your weekend? How you doing? What have you been up to? I'm glad you can join us today. How is the new hour working for everyone? I thought about just moving it like 30 minutes later on Sundays. I hope that works best for you guys, but let me know. What is your experience with Filament? Well, it basically boils down to I started using Filament on version 2. I can't remember how long ago, but I loved it. I started using it for my projects. I tried to implement it on my work as well, creating new things for work. And then version 3 came out, and then I started using that. I mean, My experience with it is just as anyone else's. Just found it, loved it, can't stop using it. Busy a lot. Busy a lot. The last few months. Busy a lot the last few months. My English. Oh wow. App launch on coming Wednesday. Oh my god. Congratulations. Then I can finally chill again. I know. The grind. What's your app about, by the way? Leave a link. We can check it out. Is it something public or is something work related? I mean, have experienced that slow a bit sometimes. Don't worry if when you start using something, you feel like you're making the progress that you want, because everything new that you do is going to be slow at first. But keep in mind that the more you use something, the more you practice, is gonna come a time when you do it without thinking, and you're gonna have the speed that you wanted. In those times when you thought, man, I'm so slow at this, they're gonna be gone, long gone, just a memory. Just keep at it. Don't worry about the progress. Just practice as much as you can, and at some point you're going to nail it. So don't stress about being slow at first. Everyone is. Everyone starts the same way, slowly. But not everyone gets to a point where they have the speed that they want. The difference is, keep at it. Just keep going. It's an ERP closed source. All right. Oh, all right. No, sorry, I meant that the filament components and forms sometimes are slow, lagging. Interesting. Does that happen to you locally on your local dev environment? On my experience, they're not that much slow, at least on my dev environment, because I used to have this thing where my local dev environment was, I used to use Docker with Docker and WSL2, and it was terribly slow, like unbearably slow. And I found out that when you have your project on the Windows file system, I don't know if this applies to you, but I thought maybe sharing it. When you have a project, let's say a Laravel project, and you have that on your Windows disk or file system, not on WSL, and then you start and you work on that project, and you have that project on a web browser through WSL or Docker, it's incredibly slow. To sum up, if you're working locally on Windows and you have WSL, do not keep your code or the code that you're working on a Windows folder in the Windows file system. Keep that code in WSL and start your server there. Otherwise, it's going to be absolutely terribly slow. Just a tip. Well, Will, good luck with the launch. I know first time launches are scary, and I hope everything goes well for you. When did you say you were launching? Wednesday? Wednesday, yeah. Well, maybe you can let us know how it goes. We have another stream on Wednesday, so join us then and let us know how the lunch go. Ah, there. Now we have the image, or the file name at least. So what happens if we just don't do this dd and just go back to the test and remove this line and then just assert that there is a file? Because now, well, yeah, let's just run the test again, see how it goes. I don't need this, but I'll keep it. Oh, save. So yeah, unable to find a file or directory at path. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use pet avatar because that's the file name that we just uploaded. So I'm going to assert on that instead of file. See if that works. Still doesn't. Do I have to use TMP? Problem is not the file name. The file name, it gets uploaded, but I can't find it. Hmm. I don't know if that's gonna work. Nope. Where is that file? Where is the path where things get uploaded? Come on. Just want to see what do we have in this file class. We have the name. We have a temp file, which is a stream resource with the URI. We do have a path here, but I already tried that. It's not there. Oh, this is not the path on the server. Do I have to use storage? This turns out to be a lot more involved than I thought. What can I do with storage? Ooh. Is there a way I can use storage to why that didn't work? PHP artisan storage link. I already did that like long ago. Yeah. No, thank you though. But yeah, that's already done. I don't know if that's gonna help me with the test. How can I list the contents of a directory? File system, file storage, local driver. Like so, storage files. I do dd storage disk avatars files. Empty. I'm just trying things out right now. I just want to find a file because I know the file is being uploaded, but I need to find it and I can't. It's so weird. So they make an uploaded file, they make a fake file, post it, which we are all doing. But the file is not being stored. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to figure this out off camera because I have no idea why it's not working for me. Maybe I thought it was going to be too easy because all of these examples, they are not filament related, and I think there might be something to it that we're not seeing. So I'm going to figure this out, and I'm not going to take much more of your time on that. So I'm going to leave this to marked for later. And let's just focus on another test that we can actually make progress on. I think we have like 30 more minutes. So yeah, let's just focus on the appointments for now. If I figure it out before next Sunday, I'll post it again on my Discord server on the live stream section where I share my live streams. I'll make sure to include a link or maybe a short description of what I can find. But for now, let's just comment that out. So we're going to need another test file for appointments. So let's do PHP artisan best test. This is going to be called appointments resource appointment resource test. Right? And first thing we want to do is get the smoke test ready. It can render the appointments page. Let's copy the definition from the pet test. I guess I need this too. Do I need to seed? Because do I need an owner? Yes, I do. Let's copy the seed and the smoke. This is the owners, not the pet resource. Actually, we need the appointment, not appointment class, resource. Now we don't yet have an owner's appointment resource, so this is going to fail. And this is, yeah. So we need to call the appointment resource get URL index. Never forget to include the panel name, because if you omit that part, it's going to give you the index URL, but the default one. So it's going to point to the admin resource instead, to the admin panel instead, sorry. That should do it. Let's give it a go. Class appointment resource not found, of course, because we don't have one yet. So let's create our resource. Do I want to use generate? It'll speed things up. Yes, let's use generate. PHP artisan make filament resource. This is going to be called appointment resource. And it's going to be in the owners panel. Now we need to import that here and test again. Good. First test passed. It can show a list of appointments. Let's work on that. So what do we need to do here? First thing we need is an appointment. Do we have a factory for appointments? We'll find out. So appointment factory. Create. Do we need to worry about who this appointment is for? Let me check real quick. Guess it's all in the... don't think we have a factory for this. Pet ID, slot ID, clinic, doctor. So all of these have to be created. So I guess we need to say for pet factory yeah, that works. So this appointment is for a pet, and also we need a slot ID. A lot of things for slot create, and this is just going to be, sorry, slot factory. That slot factory is going to have a lot of things because a slot belongs to a schedule belongs to a doctor. So there's a lot of setup to do this. And we also need a doctor. So for user, yes, we can use this. Let's duplicate this. Let's call it doctor user. We're not going to be acting as the owner, but we do have a doctor user that we can use here. And then we can do, is it livewire test? Yes, livewire test. We need the appointment resource. Filament owner resources, appointment resource. We already have that. So we can do appointment resource. Pages, list appointments. Class. And just follow what we did here. Assert can see table records for the pets that we created or the appointment that we just created. Something similar to this. Let's give this a test. I'm expecting this to fail, of course, because there is a lot of setup. We don't have a factory for appointment, and just creating a slot requires a bunch of setup for the schedule and the doctor, etc. So I'm fully expecting this to fail. Let's see the first error. Database factories, appointment factory not found. Okay, that's easily solved by creating a new factory. Okay. Class pet not found. Where did I use pet here? All right, pet, import that, and let's also import slot. Class database factory, slot factory not found, so we need a factory for the slot as well. So let's create that. call to undefined method. Illuminate database query builder. What's that for? I'm guessing because I'm using for here. This is not a factory. Let's just use state instead. And let's set the doctor. Wow. Doctor ID as this doctor user ID. Attempt to read property ID on null. That's interesting. So we don't have an admin user? We don't have a doctor user? Let's check out database seeder to make sure. User seeder. And yeah, that's the problem. We don't have a doctor. So let's create one here in our seed. User factory role doctor. Create doctor. And this is doctor as well. Integrity constraint violation on slots. Slot start cannot be empty. So that's a problem with the factory. I'll close a few things. Let's open the slot factory. So start is, let's define, start as fake time. Now it's complaining about the slot end. So let's do the same. They don't have to be great. The end doesn't have to be greater than the start. Although that'll be a nice test for later. Make sure that we can't select a start time that is in the past or before start. Something to think about. Now it's complaining about the schedule ID. Of course, for that I need a schedule. So we need the schedule factory create ID. Wow, comma. But that means that I need now a schedule factory. PHP artisan make factory schedule factory. And now we have a problem with inserting new schedules because it cannot be, the owner ID cannot be empty. Okay. So let's go to the schedule factory. So the owner ID is a doctor. By the time we use a factory, the seeder should have been already executed, so we should have a doctor already in database. So we can say owner ID equals to user where name doctor first ID. Now we need an appointment description. So we're back to the appointment. Okay, let's close this, go back to appointment factory. Set the description as fake sentence. And now it's complaining about what's this? Must be assert can see table records. The first argument, which is records, must be of type must be of type collection or array, and I gave it a model. All right. So we're back to the test now. How did I do this on the pet resource test? I guess since I'm making just one, well, let's make 3. Call it appointments. Appointments. We have a passing test just in time. That was a long winding road, but that's the nature of testing. You just gotta focus on the error at hand, solve that with the least amount of code and move to the next one. And at some point, your test will pass. And now that we have a test passing, we can then focus on refactoring and all the other stuff. But at least we have a test passing now, and we'll do the refactor later, or next, actually. That should always be your next step. As soon as you have a passing test, focus on refactor that test before you move to the next one. And I'm actually gonna, can I mark it as refactor? So I'm gonna mark this for refactor, but we're gonna do this next week because we're almost out of time. So we're gonna stop here. We're making good progress. Again, I'm going to figure out the file upload testing, and I'll share that with you within the week if I can get to it. If not, we'll see it next week. Remember, you have homework for next week if you accept the challenge. What we did first was to show images in the dropdown for the appointment resource. This is for pets, and your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to do the exact same thing, but for the doctor's dropdown in the appointment resource. And we're working on the doctor's panel. But you can do that in both the doctors and the admins panel if you choose to. So that's your homework, and we'll review it in next week. I'm going to do it off camera, and then next week I'm going to show you what I did, and we can compare notes and see if we have the same solution. And remember that on Wednesday, I'm going to start a new stream. We're going to create a new learning system. It's all going to be tested with PEST, and it's going to be made with LiveWire components and Filament as well. I think I'm going to go with mostly LiveWire with Filament sprinkled in. I don't know if I'm going to use the panel builder at first, but we'll see how it goes. So I hope to see you on Wednesday. And if you like the content of the stream, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.